What kind of man runs into enemy fire without a weapon? Not once, not twice, but over and over again. Not to fight, but to save lives. They called him a coward. They tried to kick him out. Some even threatened to kill him. But when the bullets started flying, they all wanted one man by their side. His name was Desmond Doss, a soldier who wouldn't touch a gun, yet earned the Medal of Honor in the bloodiest battle of the Pacific. This is the unbelievable true story of the medic who refused to kill and became a legend. Desmond T. Doss, born in Lynchburg, Virginia in 1919, shattered that stereotype. Raised a devout Seventh-day Adventist, he studied the Ten Commandments as closely as other boys studied comics. And two rules took root in him deeper than any others. Remember the Sabbath day, and thou shalt not kill. When war erupted, Doss could have stayed safely at the Newport News Naval Shipyard, claimed a deferment, and kept his hands clean. Instead, he felt a fire of duty rising inside him. He believed the cause was righteous, and he refused to watch other men march off to die while he stayed behind. But he vowed one thing: he would save life, never take it. Draft papers in hand, Doss stood before the Army Induction Board and declared himself not a conscientious objector, but a conscientious cooperator. Boot camp at Fort Jackson quickly revealed how lonely conviction can be. Doss's commander saw a soldier who would not touch a rifle, would not train on Saturday, and knelt beside his bunk for devotions each night. To the man, to many of his fellow recruits, she looked like dead weight. Insults rained down. Boots flew across the barracks while he prayed. One sergeant warned, "When the bullets start flying, we'll make sure you don't come back." Officers tried to label him mentally unfit. Doss calmly refused the discharge. Another lieutenant threatened a court-martial for disobeying an order to hold a weapon. Doss remained courteous, resolute, and immovable. Gradually, the brass discovered that a soldier who cannot be broken is a soldier worth keeping, even if he never fires a shot. In July year 1944, the 77th Infantry Division landed on the steamy beaches of Guam. Japanese snipers perched in banyan trees, and machine guns rattled from pillboxes hidden under vines. That was where the soldiers who once mocked the prayer-kneeling medic watched him sprint through curtains of lead, treating shattered limbs, tying tourniquets, and dragging men to safety. They saw him ignore his own safety again on the blood-drenched slopes of Leyte in the Philippines, and they pinned 2 bronze stars for valor on his field jacket. The jokes died, the respect burned bright. Doss's men now said a silent prayer of their own whenever the shooting started. God, let the medic find me if I'm hit. Then came Okinawa. The initial assault on the 29th of April, year 1945, hurled the 307th Regiment against a jagged escarpment locals called Metabud. The soldiers would remember it simply as Hacksaw Ridge. 400 feet of limestone rose almost sheer from the earth, capped by a treacherous 35-foot overhang. Beneath that ledge, GIs clawed at dangling cargo nets, while Japanese troops waited in honeycomb tunnels above, ready to cut them down as they topped the climb. A Company made it first and was almost wiped out. B Company followed, including Desmond Doss, who carried no weapon, wore no medic armband. He had removed every sign that marked him as a healer, knowing Japanese sharpshooters hunted medics first. Shells burst, bodies dropped, and the man who would not carry a gun began hauling the wounded back from the brink of death. For days, the 307th fought, gained yards, fell back, and fought again. Doss seemed to materialize wherever a man screamed for help, crawling through mortar bursts to press sulfa powder into a gut wound, hoisting a blood-slick comrade over his shoulder to dash for cover, murmuring scripture while slinging plasma bottles from splintered tree limbs. On May 5th, the line finally crumbled under a ferocious counterattack. Commanders shouted the order, retreat. But when the company scrambled toward the cliff edge, Desmond Doss stayed rooted amid the smoke. An estimated 75 Americans lay too broken to crawl. He would not abandon them. Alone on the ridge, he prayed a line he would repeat again and again that night. Lord, let me get one more. Working with the calm precision of a battlefield surgeon, Doss dragged the closest casualty to the escarpment's lip, rigged a stretcher rope into a special knot he'd learned as a boy, and lowered the man hand over hand down the cliff. Then he turned back for another, and another, and another. Japanese patrols swept past, searching for survivors to bayonet. Machine gun tracers stitched the dark, yet somehow no bullet touched him. Each time his muscles trembled or his breath caught, Doss whispered, "Just one more, Lord," and plunged back into the killing ground. By dawn, he had lowered 75 wounded soldiers, many of them men who once despised him, to safety. Hacksaw Ridge was not finished with him. On May 21, a grenade burst showered Doss with metal, shredding his legs. Refusing a stretcher that would pull another medic from the fight, he lashed a rifle stock to his splintered limbs as a splint and kept treating others. Hours later, a sniper's bullet sliced through his arm. He fashioned a crude tourniquet from a rifle sling, crawled to another medic, and insisted the corpsman treat 2 worse-off casualties first. Only then did he accept morphine. Infection set in. Evacuation followed. By the time Desmond Doss sailed home, Okinawa lay behind in smoking ruin, but 75 men walked American soil again because a gentle medic had stood his ground. On the 12th of October, year 1945, President Harry S. Truman clasped the shy Virginian's hand on the White House lawn. Cameras clicked as the commander-in-chief said, "I consider this a greater honor than being president." The Medal of Honor glinted against the private's dress uniform, the first and only one ever bestowed on a conscientious objector in World War II. Doss's citation recounted outstanding bravery and unflinching determination in the face of desperately dangerous conditions. But he offered a simpler explanation. He pointed to Matthew 7:12. "All things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them." He had merely lived by the golden rule. Desmond Doss spent years in hospitals after the war, fighting tuberculosis contracted on Leyte and enduring surgeries to remove grenade fragments that still burned under his skin. He rarely spoke of Hacksaw Ridge, never boasted of medals, and politely sidestepped the word hero. He lived quietly with his wife Dorothy in Georgia, raised a son, grew tomatoes, and taught Sabbath school until his death in 2006. Yet every soldier pulled off that cliff remembers the rough rope biting his ribs, the gentle voice murmuring, "Hold on, buddy, I've got you." They remember that courage can wear many faces, sometimes the face of a man who refuses to carry a gun. So, the next time someone equates power with violence, or heroism with the barrel of a rifle, remember the medic from Lynchburg who knelt to pray instead of shoot, and who proved that saving life can be even fiercer than taking it. Desmond Doss showed the world that conviction, faith, and raw, stubborn love for one's fellow man can change the course of a battle and the hearts of those who witness it. His legacy challenges us. What would we risk to hold fast to our principles and still serve? What heights could compassion climb if it refused to let go? If stories like this inspire you, please give the video a thumbs up. Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel for more true tales of courage and conviction. Your support helps keep these memories alive for the next generation.